It's not your first rodeo, is it?
I'm not a cowboy though.
No.
That's a bit of an insult, that is.
I like that. I like that. That
That's
was
when
good.
folks say it's not my first rodeo. I think, what do you get at rodeos? Cowboys.
It's true.
Welcome everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Phil Beckwith, the professional painter and decorator. Now, pretty nice afternoon for me. You know what it's like, Fridays I don't actually work, or so everybody keeps telling me, but I have been invited up to the Brewers event at Mansfield Town Football Stadium, which is home of the Stags. Now, Mansfield Brewers are holding this event. Now, I'm outside at the moment, I've not gone inside. The plan is today, I'm going to go around, see the traders that are here. Hopefully there's old and new faces that I recognise, and I'm going to touch base with them and see what products they've got on offer. Hopefully really to help you out with new products that might be on the market now. You've probably seen a few products that I've done at the painting and decorating show. There'll be a playlist there, or a video link to the painting and decorating show in Coventry. This is very similar to it, but on a smaller scale, and clearly it's a Brewers event. So without further ado, Hugh Barnaby Grew, Cuthbert Dibble and Grubb, I'm going to go in and see who's there, and then if there's anything of interest, I will actually report back to you via video. Now, I'm not promising anything. I may talk over people, I may butt in, and with my product knowledge, I might tell people a few things that I know. So let's see how we go, and catch you in a bit. People are saying hello to me, so I'm going to say hello to you. Hiya. Here we go. Right, we'll start again. We had a little bit of a malfunction there. I'm over on the Arroworthy stand, which is the Coleman brothers. I'm speaking to Liam. I've spoken to Liam before. You've probably seen him on previous videos. I'm not sure, but I'm a big fan of the Arroworthy brushes. I quite like the Rembrandt. Now, this is the yellow bristle Rembrandt. If you look, I'm going to put that there. If you look in that corner there, I've got a video where I'm painting my kitchen at home, and I was using that, and I thought how good it was as actually a brush for cutting in under the coving edge. A little bit firmer than a Arroworthy Classic, but still, well, still a nice brush to have in your arsenal of multiple brushes. So I'm going to swivel the camera around now, and we're going to speak to Liam, and we're going to see what he's got on his stand. Now, I'm spying down here because Coleman Brothers are also the agents for, distributors for the Smith & Roger Flow and Bond, and you know I'm a big fan of that. So over to Liam in 3, 2, 1, hopefully now. Oh, I better give him a microphone, so hold on. Right, here's Liam, and he's going to show us what we've got on the stand today.
Just a run through of the quick products that we're showcasing here at Mansfield Football Ground. We've got the Arroworthy Classic, one of the best-selling brushes in our range. Tapered filament this one. Fantastic brush, fantastic pickup and release. Like I said, this is the best-selling brush in our range. We run a good, better, best through the brushes. Classic being the good, but it's still by far superior to most. And then you've got the Rembrandt, which was shown just a second ago, which was that one that was there. That's under Phil's arm. There we go.
Walking away with it.
So we've got that one, and that one's a little bit stiffer bristle, a little bit firmer. That one will give you a better finish than the Classic on woodwork and walls. It's perfect for as well. Bit better resins in that one, so that one you'll have less bristle loss with that one, and it'll retain and release paint that little bit better. And then onto the Finultra, longer filament with that one. That one is the flagship of the Arroworthy range. It's probably the one that's had the most work done to it, so it's a little bit more expensive. People use that a lot for woodwork, and it's basically for woodwork solely. It can be used for both, but it is mainly for trim. And then moving on to our rollers very briefly, you've got the classic roller, which is a fantastic roller. It is our entry-level roller at the moment. Microfiber, thermal bonded core, so all the fibres are knitted into the plastic itself. Then you've got the blue vein, which we do a lot of work with Paint Warrior on those. He recommends the blue vein. We've done quite a few videos of that one where there's very low spatter, and it virtually you could paint the woodwork first and then the walls afterwards, and it put nothing on the woodwork itself. And then you've got the last roller, which is our external roller. It's probably one of the rollers that you don't see in a lot of places, but it is fantastic for those externals and for those really deep profiles. And then moving on to the Paint Warrior products, you've got the drill paddle, the drill mixer, which is fairly new to him. You've got his brush that he designed himself. It's got his own grade resins in and his own choice of filament. And he's chose how firm he wanted that one for what he uses it for.
I'm going to butt in there, and everybody likes me butting in. So what is the difference between that really? Is it a combination of the brushes you've got there? Why didn't you do that in the first place? Or is it somebody's personal preference that's actually gone quite well with everybody else?
That is Paint Warrior's personal preference. So he has chose the blend of bristle. So it is the nylene bristle the same, but it is a blend of his own choice. So he has chose that specifically for his own brush. And chose all down to the finer details, how much tapering he wanted on it, how he wanted the handle, and he designed that fully, along with the sash brush and the beaver tail.
Yeah.
As far as Arroworthy goes, that's
it with Arroworthy.
That's what we're showcasing today.
Yeah, that's good. And then these rollers, I'm going to blag one of these because I've got a job coming up that's rather a large ceiling. And if you can see that on the wide angle lens that I've got, that would get me across that ceiling in 10 minutes. Who needs a sprayer when you've got a roller that length? That's a proper 10-incher. Or shall we call it a subway? Right, moving on. Again, just Smith & Roger. I love Smith & Roger stuff. You've seen on numerous videos. Let me move my drink out of the way. You know I like the Smith & Roger Flow and Bond. This is great to add into your paints. And you've seen recently, and if you look in the top left corner, I've been using the Flow and Bond with the Farron Ball paints, which made a heck of a difference to the application of the actual paint. So I'm a very big fan of that. Right, anything else? I think we've
just a small.
Oh, got the blockade.
Just a small chat on the other products that Smith & Roger do. We've got the blockade shellac primer sealer. Seals all of those hard, troublesome stains, your water stains, your knots, all of your problem surfaces. That is a one-coat system. Fantastic opacity, and it'll do all of those tricky jobs.
So you can use that actually for going over water stains. So long as you've actually sorted out where the water stains come from, that will stop.
Yes, obviously, if there's a problem there with the plumbing or damp or whatnot, you have to fix the structural problems first, and then that will solve that problem afterwards. And then you've got the multi-surface clear coat, which goes onto walls, floors, doors, veneer, oak veneer doors, which not a lot of varnishes can do. It also goes on wallpaper as well. So if you wanted a really hard finish on a wallpaper, it comes in matte finish. Yeah. So that would go on top of there and give you a belt and braces.
So if you've got a wallpaper in a bathroom, it could be an ideal situation to actually use that there. Yeah, that's very good.
And then the Flow and Bond that you've already mentioned.
Yeah, and that's something that we do like.
goes in as an additive to aid flow and bond of emulsions and water-based trims.
Yeah, this is, just to make it clear to everybody, this is for water-based paints and not your oil-based paints. Back in the room, you're back with me. So thank you very much to Liam for explaining a few things there. I'll pan around, the tracking will get me on the face, and there's Liam, and I'll wave and say thank you very much. I'll see you on the next trade event show. Right, still at the Brewers event, as you know, because that's where I am at the moment. And I'm over on the MaxVac stand, which is really dust management solutions. Now, if I can just turn around, my camera will be picking up on that.
Afternoon, guys.
Your name is?
Todd.
Todd. So I'll tell you what, let's move the camera around, and Todd will tell us about this marvellous dust extraction dust blocker. I'm getting the sign in there with Todd. And you know full well that if you look in the left-hand corner of the screen, I've got one of these apparatus, and it's worth its weight in gold. So over to Todd.
Hi, guys. Yeah, so this is the biggest focus for painting decorators, particularly, is the use of these with your, if you're doing spraying, it's overspray, or if it's your 24-hour coverage against any dust that's in the air from your prep work. Now, obviously, when you're working on your job, you've obviously probably got your mask on, or you're using a nylon spray, sort of dustless sprayer setup. But the big focus is that finer stuff that your extractor from your sander isn't necessarily going to catch. Your extractors will catch about 70-80% of the stuff you do. Now, the dust blockers, the air scrubbers, are designed to then deal with that last, most respirable, most dangerous stuff. And it's that 24-hour protection you have. I mean, within the industry, you'll see guys they'll be using them on site. They'll leave the site because of the low energy, turn it down 50%. Obviously, these models are all a variable speed setup, so you just turn it down, and by running a machine on the lower power, you run it about 45 volts, which for your customer is great, low energy. But crucially, when you walk back into that site the following day, you, instead of stamping up the dust that's on the floor, breathing it in before you put your mask back on. I mean, Phil will know it himself. When you get that level of dust back into the air, or leaving it around scattered across the customer's house or in a commercial setting where people are coming through, it's having something that will cover you 24 hours a day and minimise your clean-up time at the end of the day. That's the massive favour of these machines. I mean, aside from that, it's you obviously got your 4-stage filtration. We've seen a lot of guys sort of come into the industry try to play a similar machine, and a lot of them will often go for a lot less filtration levels. The only sort of concern is that when you're using a pre-filter, as you would have seen on Phil's previous video, it allows you to have a more cost-effective solution. So obviously this machine has been used already. You can see the use of it. So this is what will take the brunt of the dust, anything smaller. And then as you go back in your filter layers, you have your filter design for the more specific, finer work. Now, typically you're looking at, for the rear filter, maybe every 8 to 10, maybe even longer months of use before you have to change it. And then your middle filter, you'd be talking between 1 and 3 months. Again, obviously it's subjective to how much of a battering they're going to get. It's more, the biggest thing to focus on is making sure you're changing your pre-filters as often as possible, and that's why they're such a cost-effective machine. We see a lot of guys that are coming into the industry or starting to leave out of it, and they fully appreciate just how much of a, I mean, you're spending your money on your Merca systems or your sprayers and the rest of your kit. But this is your long-term health solution. It's looking after you and the customer, and that's kind of what we're trying to prioritise and set out and bring to the industry.
What I'm going to interject, because I'm trying not to talk over people like I normally do. Cost-wise, if we can, cost-wise, these are about £1,000. Now that sounds a lot of money, but as we've found out as MD Beckwith Decorators, it's worth its weight in gold. And as Todd's saying, if you leave this running on a job overnight, it's only using minimal draw. It's no different than having a light bulb on. Yeah, it's like having a light bulb on, 45 watts. So if you leave that on overnight, you'll come into a work environment the next day that feels like I'm not saying sterile, but it feels a lot cleaner environment to actually be working in. Now, filters wise, you're looking at a pack of, I think we've said 8 for about 18 quid. The second filter in there about
like
15,
20,
about 18 pounds to 20 pounds for a middle filter, and then the back filter, top of my head's about 150 quid. But as Todd's just said, you won't be changing that for at least, what, 8, 9, 10 months?
Sometimes
12 months, depends how much you're using it. If it's like us, we're not using these all the time because we're not spraying all the time, so they will last a lot longer. But all in all, I will say this is an investment. Like Todd's been saying, you buy your spray equipment, you buy your markers, and you buy your dust extraction, dust blockers as well, because they are worth having on a job. The only thing is now you've got to buy a bigger van. Thank you very much, chaps.
No worries.
I'll just span back, get your wide angle. Give us a wave.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
See you guys.
Right, next stand we've come to is the Osmo Oil product stand. Now, you've probably seen my video, left-hand corner there, where I've used Osmo Oil on my hardwood oak flooring. I try and refresh it every year just to give it a bit of a maintenance coat. But over at the show at Brewers at Mansfield Town Football Club, we're going to be talking to Aidan, who's going to just go through a few of the products that they've got on the display stand today.
Hello, I'm Aidan at Osmo UK. I'm here today at this trade event for Brewers Mansfield to display some of our most popular products and answer any frequently asked questions. The 3 main points that we want to hit today is the fact that we are here available in Brewers who support us massively around all our major products. The ones that we're here to discuss are our interior and exterior ranges, including our door oils, Polytrols and top oils, and also our exterior finishes, UV oils, natural wood stains and our opaques. The things that are really exciting for us is that we now have an exclusive range of our own Elements colour cards, all available through any of your Brewers stores. And most importantly, and the most exciting part, is to launch our new Osmo Recommends specification app. This is there for everybody, the homeowner, the end user and the reseller, to ensure that every time you use Osmo, we're helping you down that journey, ensuring you're using the correct products and following the correct process, meaning that everybody gets the best out of each tin. We could be here all day breaking it down, but one of the most passionate things for me is that people don't know we are a family-owned business. We are a German manufacturer. We are over 140 years old, and we still produce timber. For over 140 years we've produced timber, and we still produce it all to this day. All these products here are used on our own timbers and then everywhere around the world. We're in 64 countries, and we're very passionate that we are plant-based. Sunflower oil, thistle oil and a blend of waxes are the foundation of all our products. We really appreciate all the love and support that everybody showed Osmo over the years, and we're hoping with the huge amount of colour options, new finishes, and the Osmo Recommends that everybody gets that little bit more from what we can offer. You happy?
I'm very happy, Aidan. Thank you very much for that. You've explained it and you kept it under 3 minutes, which is great, which everybody knows me, I'm a 20-minute person, so there's no one-hit wonder with me. My wife loves it. Right, the next stand we've come to is the Coovar stand, and we're talking with
Ed.
Oh, I've got an Ed at home, so we've got an Edward stroke Ed, and he's going to tell us the products that Coovar do. Now, you've probably seen these actually in Brewers, but probably not known actually what the purpose of these paints are. So I'm going to flip the camera around and you can see Ed in all his glory. Not a bad looking lad though, same himself. And he's got a face for camera, unlike Aidan who says he's got a face for radio. Yeah, it's just in-house joke. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 and we'll swivel round. Dead easy.
Hi there, yeah. I'm Ed from Coovar Paints. You'll mainly know us for floor, sport and line marking paint, which is the main kind of bread and butter of what we do in Decorators centres. But we do also do products like safety and security, like your anti-graffiti, your luminous, your fluorescent. We've got a full range of metal protective paints called Hammer Coat and the primers to go with. A big range of specialist paints, which includes our very popular solvent-based matte black and water-based matte black, solar reflective aluminium for the sunny weather like we're having today on the industrial units. We've got a full range of varnishes and oils, including your more kind of traditional, like your Danish oil. And then, of course, a full range of specialist primers, like your shellac, solvent-based, water-based, aluminium wood primer, MDF primer. Essentially, if you are stuck for where to buy a product for a certain job, just give us a call and I'm sure there'll be something in our range that'll do the job. That's me.
Dead easy, isn't it?
Dead easy, yeah.
Dead easy. Thank you very much for that.
That's all right.
And these are all the things that you can actually buy through Brewers.
They are, yeah. So Brewers will have on the shelf our Coovar floor paint. Quite a lot of stores have got our Sherwin, which is the anti-slip version, very popular product. But all of our products are available by Brewers Decorator Centres.
And knowing how good Brewers are, if they're not on the shelf and they have to order it in, it's only next day or in
all of our
time.
products are manufactured in the UK in Hull. So as far as delivery times, we're very flexible. We're very good with our service. We can get it there very quickly.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Ed.
Not a problem. Cheers.
Right, I'm over on the TimbaBuild stand now. David's gone a little bit shy. He doesn't want to be on camera, but I don't know whether I spoke about TimbaBuild before, but it's one of those products that I actually like and use it as and when I need to use it. Now I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what TimbaBuild is, and I'll just talk you through a few of the products that they've got from really memory of when I actually use it, and yeah, you'll get the idea. Right, this is TimbaBuild. The process of it is you've got a two-tube system. It's like an activator and a resin, and they're mixed together. You've got a working time of anything from 20, 30, 40 minutes at a time.
On the high build one, yeah.
On the high build one.
30 to 40 minutes.
David might just interact with this.
Yeah,
so
I will do.
Do you know what? I'm going to give him a mic, so if he does say anything, it'll pick up on his voice.
So it's a twin cartridge. It just ensures when it's in the applicator gun that the resin is dispensed in the right mix. So you've got the activator and the resin. It comes out of the front of the tube like a sausage. So the activator comes out of the centre and the resin comes out of the outer side, but it's like a stick of rock, but in the right mix. You put that onto a mixing board and dispense as little as much as you need or want to mix. And that can be a small amount, it can be a full tube, but the tube empties fully.
Yeah.
So you're using all the products in the cartridge, as opposed to sometimes with a tin system where you fish out a golf ball size and then
You mix
you
too
squirt
much
in a
up and then
pea.
you've wasted it because you're not needing it all.
Yeah, and then you run out of hardener.
Yeah.
You then clear your van out in 2 weeks' time and you throw the rest of the resin away. So with this, there's no waste.
This is brilliant. I like it how it mixes. You can just see the two colours there, hopefully. The two colours mixed together, and then when you actually get it on the board and mix it with your special mixing spatulas, it actually changes colour to blend together, doesn't it?
Yes,
More of
yeah.
a whitey cream.
And you need that consistent
Yeah.
colour. So this is a finished colour here. You need that consistency so that it's fully mixed to ensure that every bit, so you don't get any soft spots.
Yeah.
Every bit is mixed and that it's
Yeah.
going to cure. So that's epoxy high build 60. So it's up to 60 mil in one fill, and that will cure in 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it's got a 2-year shelf life on the cartridge, so
Yeah.
you can use a small amount, put the cap back on and come back to it and use it up to 2 years from the manufacturing date here. And then we also do a splicing adhesive, which is ERC10, so epoxy rapid cure up to 10 mil. And that you've got roughly 6 to 8 minutes working time on the board, depending on temperature. And that will fully cure in an hour.
Yeah.
So it's sandable and paintable in an hour.
Yeah.
This one is EHB 60, sandable and paintable in around 4 hours,
Yeah.
depending on thickness.
Yeah. So I
And
probably...
the system is exactly the same of activator and resin. And again, same shelf life, 2 years from the date of manufacture.
So I'm going to say, don't get confused that you see a 10 on it and thinking you've got a 10-minute working time. or a 60 and you've got a 60-minute working time. That's not the case. It's more the depth of what you can fill with.
Yes.
Now, the other product I like is actually timber glaze. Now, this is your alternative to the traditional linseed oil putty that we all know takes ages to dry before you can paint over it. Can you see it there? And that is actually, it's in situ on a piece of Perspex, but you get the idea. You squeeze it in. You don't have to prime the wood before you put it on. You can prime the wood if you so wish, but you actually squeeze it in like using cork stroke mastic, and then spatula it. Well, spread it.
Yeah, and spray with water to smooth it over.
And it does actually set up quite solid. A little bit soft, but if you do need to get the glass out, you can actually get a Stanley blade or a snap-off offler, and then you can actually cut it out and you can get a clean piece of glass back out if you need to do that. But what's the beauty of that? It doesn't deteriorate with the sun, doesn't go brittle, and it won't crack and fall out like we find with linseed oil putty. But you can still paint over it. Right, I'll pan around on the demo products so you can see what you can actually do with it. What's nice with the TimbaBuild, you can actually sand it. So if you've got a mechanical sander, if you've got a Merker, if you've got the palm sanders, you can actually sand it to shape.
Maybe just mention the Perspex.
Yeah.
Using Perspex as a shutter. So if you had to fill underneath a sill, you can use Perspex as a form of shutter and just to hold the resin in place, pack underneath, and when the resin's cured, the Perspex just pops off afterwards.
Yeah, that's a good idea to use that. So if you can see that, I think you've heard David on the camera. The Perspex is actually giving you the shape and form.
And here's
Just
it in
like
another form
here it's being used to
create the corner.
Yeah.
Obviously there's more preparation work here, but this side here has been repaired. We've got some preparation to do to get rid of more rot and unearth what else is affecting that corner of the window.
Yeah.
Then you would prime it with our epoxy wood primer, and then you would apply your resin and use a Perspex sheets, which are rigid, to help you just build that corner back up again.
And people are probably asking, you more than likely use a chisel set, a die grinder, or a multi-tool to cut out any of the bad wood and the rot, and then there is actually the products that are the wood hardeners that TimbaBuild do to harden that off before you start putting, well, let's call it the resin fillers over the top.
And to give you that 50-year guarantee that you would get with the product. So as long as you follow the process and you remove all the rot and then check the moisture content is below 18%, because you don't want to trap any water or moisture in that window. As long as you then prime it with the EWS priming system, it will then give you a 50-year guarantee.
That's brilliant. Good. Right. Thank you very much, David. I know you didn't want to go on camera.
No, my
We've got
pleasure.
your voice, and it's been very helpful. So thank you very much.
Cheers.
Right, moved on to the next stand, which is Purdy. Did you know that Purdy were actually American and their parent company is Sherwin-Williams? Now, Sherwin-Williams are behind the very nice paint that we've used recently on videos, which is Valspar. Yeah, Valspar for the trade, shall we call it. But I'm over here with Sam. We're over here with Sam. I'll show you. And he's just going to tell us a few products that are under the Sherwin-Williams stroke Purdy stroke Ronseal brand, and I'll leave you in his capable hands. Right,
Hi everybody.
this is Sam.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. So yeah, as you can see, under the Sherwin-Williams portfolio there, if Phil zooms in, you can see the different brands that sit within there. So you've got your household names like your Ronseal, your Thompson, Purdy, Ceocel sealants and Dow as well. So some familiar household names that you can see within the range. So you probably know a lot about them brands already. But yeah, I can run into your Purdy stuff specifically today. So obviously we've got as main two brushes there, which are the Monarch Elite and the Pro Extra. So you can see each individual brush if you can just zoom in onto that section, we'll have a little sticker with somebody's name on it. So that brush is handmade by that person from start to finish in Cleveland, America. That person goes through a 2-year brush training course.
Even pawn tip.
Even pawn tip, you've just been explained to me.
Yeah,
It's a new one to me. But yes, apparently that is a sought after brush. So yeah, each person goes through a 2-year course on producing that brush. So we make them to the best of quality, and it's a really stringent process before they're shipped across to the UK. So you can see there, obviously within the range, you've got the different types of brushes. So you know that you're using the right brush for the right job. Some of them brushes, the Pro Extra in particular, is a little bit stiffer. So it feels more like a natural bristle brush rather than a full synthetic. And obviously got the flag tip edge as well.
And you know what I always say, gotta sniff the bristle. That's my catchphrase, Sam.
Each to their own.
Yeah, gotta sniff the bristle.
So yeah, within the brushes, obviously there's a full range within there, but they're the main two. And then obviously we've got all the rollers specifically as well. The main one that everybody tends to be familiar with is the Colossus.
Yeah.
Again, an industry standard leading roller sleeve. And then obviously our unique pieces, which are the Purdy rucksack, which is becoming ever so more popular. Is a really handy piece of kit. And we've also got the storage box as well, which is new for this year.
This is new for this year. I'm just waiting for one to be turning up on my doorstep.
So
yeah, we've had a joke about that. Yeah.
So this one is
not anytime soon.
Yeah, launched April of this year. Doing really, really well so far within the market. You can see within there, obviously the compartments can interchange. So you don't have to take the full 3 out if you don't want to. If you just got need for 2 of them on site, you can take the large box with one of the smaller ones. You can fit on the back of it here, if I just pull these away, the roller extension poles. So that slots in nicely, just within the back of there. You can see the extension poles will go on there. It's the only one that's on the market for painters and decorators. So it is bespoke and specific to our industry. And then within the storage box, you've got in the top compartment a wet lock sleeve. So you can fit up to an 18-inch roller sleeve within there. You can put your brushes in overnight. That'll keep everything nice and quick to use the next day, nice and wet. So you can obviously pick up in time's money. So you start the next day. If you're painting a white ceiling, for example, chuck everything in overnight, straight back on site next morning, you can start using that. As I break it down into the next storage boxes, so the second one along there, you've obviously got your brush storage, so you can take them out, configure them, they slide along so you can move them just how you want your brushes. But you can select your brushes much easier and much quicker that way. You can put tools in there as well.
And what do you do? Do you fill that up with a brushmate fluid to stop your brushes going?
You can't, unfortunately, use the brushmate
it's
with it.
not like hanging brushes into a...
No. So with it being plastic,
kettle of,
it wouldn't be compatible with the brushmate.
A wet kettle of water. It's not that sort of thing.
No. So it's for quick brush selection. You can
obviously take that out. It's like steaming kippers. A smoker.
And you can fit up to an 18-inch sleeve as well within that tray. So yeah, again, the Colossus 18-inch there. Really popular roller.
It's really good.
And then your bottom compartment. So this one does come with 2 large boxes and 1 small one, which is really, really handy to be able to put all your tools in there. You can obviously take that away and you can store your tubs of paint.
Does it come with all these tools in it?
Unfortunately not, no. Right. So they do have to be bought separately. But I'm sure there's many Purdy fan out there that's got plenty of tools that they're looking for.
Not making it hard for you, Sam. I'm not making it hard. But it's a lovely stacking system. We just all need long wheelbase transit vans now to get all our gear in. But no, that's good. Thank you very much for showing us that, Sam.
No
and
problem.
The backpacks there. I'd really like a backpack. I'll say it a bit louder. I'd really like a backpack.
It depends how quick you can run.
But that's great. Thank you very much for showing us that. And again, these are all available through Brewers. And if they've not got them actually in store, you can actually order them in, and normally it's in with a few days. So thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you, guys.
Right, outside at the Stag's ground, we have the Graco stand. So I've come outside before my battery goes flat on my little camera, and I'm talking with Mark.
Mark Smith and Graco.
Mark Smith from Graco, and he's just going to do, I'll just say a whistle stop tour. If it's anything to do with me, nothing's going to be a whistle stop tour, but Graco have some great products. You know, I've done many a video using my GXFF fine finish spray kit. I've also got the Quick Shot, and I've got a 495 ST Max. So you've seen plenty of videos on there, but Graco, I've got some new products out that I'm going to swivel the camera around and Mark will talk us through it. Over to you, Mark.
Okay, so we, as Phil says, we have got a couple of new products here today. We have the brand new released XT versions of sprayers, and alongside that we also have the new power shotgun to go along with it as well. Now, what I want to do is, we have a classic 390. I just want to run that first, just so you can hear the noise of the motor from the 390 and see the comparison between the two units and what the differences actually are. So we have a standard contract matte emulsion. This is a 517 tip with the Graco 390, and away we go. So you can hear the motor there, and also on the edge spray pattern you'll also see the spitting from the gun. Now, it's a common occurrence with all spray machines. It's just how the needle valve assembly works inside them and how quickly it can shut off. Now, the benefit with the new XT models is the actual quietness of the motor. So it has a new motor specifically designed for airless spraying, and traditionally motors spin from the inside, whereas the new ones spin from the outside, and that allows them to have a lot more magnets, which means it generates a lot more torque. Also allows it to be a lot finer on the adjustment as well. So on this you can adjust from 3 psi up to in low pressure mode to 6 psi, I believe, in the higher pressure mode.
Can I just cut in, Mark, because I'm probably not making this look very clear. Mark is still using the same machine?
No, so this is the Graco 495. So we've got two machines set up just there.
Right.
Sorry.
So we've got two machines. We've got the 495 XT, which Mark's now working with, and we've just been seeing the classic 390 PC. And this is what the new gun looks like on the new unit. So, sorry, away we go.
Absolutely fine.
I didn't want people thinking you just swap guns on the same unit.
No problem, that's fine. So, as I just explained, the motors are completely new and revolutionary technology that have invested into the new 495s. But alongside that, we have the new power shotgun, and this marries up via Bluetooth to the actual XT unit and allows you to control the pressure remotely. Now, there are two different models in the power shot range. You have the XT version and you have the standard version. The XT version, which you see here, has been designed to work with our XT sprayers and allows you to turn the pressure up remotely. So it pairs with it via Bluetooth, and then you can control it using these two buttons just there, which allows you to turn the pressure up remotely. Comes with a power pack and also a belt, so that fixed to there. You can pass the hose around your back, and it just makes it very convenient and gives you a lot of flexibility as well. Two batteries with it. One of those batteries will power it all day, as it's only powering the solenoid inside of the gun. But the real difference here is the actual sound of the motor from the sprayer. So it's actually a lot quieter than the traditional models. As you can see, same Graco performance, nice spray pattern. But the real benefit, again, on these new power shotguns is the actual cleanliness of the spray pattern itself. So there's very little spitting from them. The same technology that's been invested in the Quick Shot has been transferred to work with all airless sprayers. So as I explained, two different models. You've got the XT and the standard. The XT work with the XT models, and the standard works with anybody's brand sprayer, and allows you to have that facility of not having any spits on your freshly painted surfaces.
That's brilliant. Do you think Graco will drop all the traditional sprayers and move over to this?
I think that's the future eventually.
Yeah.
So, you know, as with all things, when technology is fresh and original, it takes its time to work in, but the technological advances inside that, I think, will be the very baseline for future models to come. Whether it's 5-10 years, who knows, but it's, you know, it is the future of spraying, in my opinion.
This is cutting edge, and what other brands will be
following
suit.
So far above, you know, ahead of everybody else. I can't see it, you know, not being the future of spraying, in all honesty. So
that's brilliant. So the moral of the story is you pay for what you get, And if you're thinking of getting into spraying, I always say do your research first. Watch plenty of my YouTube videos on how to do your spraying. But if you are considering spray equipment, this is probably something that you do want to start looking into for the future. If you've got a machine that actually is keeping the noise down, you're actually getting less overspray. You've not got the spits, you've not got the spurts, whatever you want to call it. You've got control over your gun. This is what you want to be looking for. And you know what my keywords are? Work smarter, not harder. You don't want to be actually getting a spray equipment that you're struggling with and then go, oh, I can't work that, and it goes into the back of your shed. You want to be using something day in, day out, day in and day out, and earn your money from it. And this is where we do earn our money.
Yep, I mean, these are the bread and butter, you know, to apply coatings to ceilings and walls. That's the big surface area, taking the labour out of the task and making it as easy on yourself as possible. None of us are getting any younger, so, you know, the less effort and labour you have to put into it, the better for everybody, we think. So, and the easier you can make that for yourself, all the more better.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Mark.
You're
I'm just going to go back into your trailer and just have a look at the other items. Right, I'm still here. I've been at the show a few hours and I've come over to the Mould Growth Consultancy stand with Andrew. And as I can say by the title, it's all to do with mould growth. Now I'm going to swivel the camera around. You'll see a few of the products and I'm going to get Andrew just to talk us through. We're trying to keep these under about 5 minutes, aren't we? So we're doing quite well. Better than my usual 20 minutes for a YouTube video. So let's just do 3 presses and we swivel around to Andrew and we'll have a look at what there is. Andrew can talk because he's got a mic on, so even if you don't see his face, we will get the commentary. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and we get a 1, 2, 3. We get a swivel round. Andrew's there, and we'll do a bit of panning round while Andrew tells us what they do.
Thank you. Mould Growth Consultants is the UK's leading specialist in mould eradication products and services. All our products are tested and approved. In fact, they're the only range of products on the National Housing Federation schedule of rates, and our amateur systems are actually approved by the HSE for amateur use under COPRA. With recent health issues that we've seen in the news and press, it's never been more important to treat mould correctly and safely, but also identify the true cause of the issues. MGC's core customer base is social housing, such as housing associations and councils, but more and more recently, private landlords and domestic customers have been seriously interested in giving long-term protection and understanding why these issues occur.
I'm a private landlord, not as big a private landlord as what I used to be, but I know that the problems I've had when I've had property in grade 2 listed buildings, tenants always blame the landlord for mould, and as I always say to them, did you move into the property with mould? No, it's a lot to do with heat, ventilation and cold. So
Certainly.
I think that's the 3 things, aren't they?
It is common. I mean, there's lots of things going on recently. Fuel poverty has played a very big part in people not affording to heat their homes. That's made a big difference to how much surfaces are heated, ventilation, whether it be adequate for the job. All these things must be considered when mould first starts. Mould is purely a symptom of another issue.
And a lot of people tell you to kill mould with bleach. That's a big no-no.
It really is. More so in the social housing. I think since the end of COVID, so many former sanitising products have been relabelled as mould treatments.
Yeah.
But predominantly are hydrogen peroxides, hydrogen chloride, bleach-based treatments, and they're not an approved fungicide or algicide.
Yeah.
The one thing with MGC system is that everything is approved and tested to do a specific job. And it has always been a 3-stage treatment with MGC. So there's a wash to actually eradicate the active spores and remove the risk. Stage 2 is a coating that is applied, a bonding solution to target the root system and leave a sterile protective barrier. And then we have the option of a fungicidal additive or a high-performance mould-resisting paint. As airborne mould, moisture in the air carries these mould spores, so the decorative finish being protected is as important as treating the problem.
That's right. And I'm just going to finish off by panning down the pictures, well, say, of the problems, because we've all seen this on jobs. We've seen it in kitchens and bathrooms, and as I say, as a landlord, this is just something that you can have sleepless nights about. And as we've seen, as Andrew's mentioned, it's big in the news at the moment, and I think there's a bill coming out, isn't there?
AWAB's law is imminent. It's gone through consultation, causing social landlords to react more efficiently and more quickly, and I am pretty certain, looking at housing press, that this will be introduced to private landlords and will really make a big focus in a lot of changes in housing.
That's good. Right, thank you very much, Andrew. I'll shut off the camera now. That's great.
Thank you so much.
I'm still here, and it's nearly closing time, but I'm over at the Owatrol stand. Now, to be fair, I've not tried any of these products before, particularly the ones that are the paint conditioners that go into water-based paints. I have used the oil-based conditioner that I add to oil-based paints when we're doing the front doors to make a bit better glossy surface and also make it flow out so you don't get any brush marks. But as a decorating firm, we are using less and less oil-based paints now, so we have moved on to water-based paints. So I'm over at the Owatrol stand with James, who's just going to talk us through the products that they've got on display here, which clearly are available through Brewers. But as I say, I've not used any of these products other than the oil-based conditioner that is also, is it a rust inhibitor as well?
It is, yes.
That you can use it on rusty surfaces if you want to use it as like a primer to make your metalwork last a bit longer if you've got garden ornaments and things like that. So I'm going to do 3 clicks of the camera, swivel the camera around, and James will just talk us through. And we're trying to keep these under 3 to 4 to 5 minutes worth of video time because we've got a lot to get through, haven't we? So we go 1, 2, 3, and it's not gone, but I go 1, 2, 3, and we swivel around to James. Owatrol, I've got it right.
Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about Flowtrol. Now, Flowtrol is for water-based paints, and it's an additive that makes the wet edge of the paint go a lot further. It makes the so it's a nice shiny finish, nice, good long finish. When if you've got a difficult paint and you need to make it workable a bit more, then use a bit of Flowtrol that make the wet edge go a long more way around and give you a spray-like finish. From Owatrol, we go to Owatrol oil. With Owatrol oil, that's for oil-based paints. Very similar to Flowtrol. Makes the wet edge of the paint go a long way. Typically, you'd use about 10% in your paint, and it makes a very difficult paint very easy to use and go a long way. Stops the brush marks, stops the edges being too bad. It makes it easy to use.
And stops it drying off too quick if you're doing your garage doors or front doors and things like that.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is brush marks. And a lot of decorators now, they're not skilled with, I'm going to say this, they're not skilled with brushwork. They use a roller and then they'll be using a dedicated laying off brush, which if you know how to use a brush correctly, you wouldn't need a laying off brush. But that's my personal bit of a, you know where I'm coming from, everybody. But they're using rollers to get their finish on doors now. One, it gets your paint application on a lot quicker, but then they can lay off faster. Now, adding some of this conditioner to your paint will aid that levelling out of your paint, though, so you don't get little orange peely or brush marks, so you don't get heavy brush marks on your surface. So that is a good additive to add.
It also has a double use in that Owatrol oil is a rust inhibitor.
Yeah.
So it stops rust. You can either lay it on metalwork, either neat or within a paint, and it will stop the rust coming through. It stops the rust, the existing rust in its tracks, soaks into the rust, stops any rust coming through, And then going forwards, there'll be no rust after that.
Can it go onto a product that's already rusty if you want to maintain that rust to not go any further than what the rust is?
It will stop the rust in its tracks.
Yeah. Does it affect anything if, because I had a garden ornament made, I had an armillary in the garden which looks lovely, and it's naturally rusted and it looks lovely. I don't want it rusting any further. Could I put that on it to protect it? But if in the future it needed re-welding, would it affect anything with the welding, do you think?
I don't think it will. No, I think that'll be absolutely fine.
That's
I think that will seal in the
because it does look really nice with the natural rust.
It will, yes,
That's
indeed.
Good. Right.
Okay. And then moving on there, finally our other product that we've got here today is called Polytrol. And Polytrol is used on, for example, it can be used on composite doors. It's a paint restorer. You use it on a door and that brings the molecules back out in the paint of the door. A door that maybe has been weathered over the last 10 years. Composite doors. Yeah, composite doors. It brings, for example, if it's been bad weather and the sun has bleached it, and you get doors that over time, they turn a little bit white because the colour has faded.
They bloom.
They bloom, yes, yeah. So you put this, you either rag it on or paint Polytrol on, and that'll bring the natural colour back to the front. Get those molecules to work again, and bring your door to a nearly like new situation again.
How long does that last? Is it something like a maintenance coat that you'd say once you start with it, you do it probably every 12 months to keep on top of it?
You're correct. Yeah, it's every 12 months you've got to keep on top of it.
Yeah.
But it looks really good once you've done it. But it is every 12 months you need to maintain it.
And I take it that's a lot cheaper than somebody spraying it like me for £300.
Oh, very much so. Yeah. Also, you can do your guttering. You can do your window frames, your UPVC window frames.
Right.
You can do garage doors.
Yeah.
You can do furniture. You can do your patio furniture, your plastic patio furniture.
So where you've got different sorts of plastics, particularly brown gutterings.
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
Goes very milky and white looking.
Yes.
Would that bring that back after many years of not having any maintenance?
Bring it nearly like new.
Right. That's good.
I've demoed this in stores.
Yeah.
And I've actually shown people that you paint it on.
Yeah.
You obviously have to wash it all down first, but then you paint on afterwards, not too much.
Yeah.
And that will restore the colour molecules in the products and bring them like new.
That's lovely. Thank you very much, James. Yeah.
That would be appalling if that happened when you're filming me.
I'm coming to the end of the day. Lots of the stands are all packing up now, and I'm over with Robert, which is the Premier Brush Collection. Now, we've got to keep it short and sweet. I can't do short and sweet. Robert can't do short and sweet, but he's going to do a quick synopsis, might be the word, or a breakdown of what their brushes are. It's probably a brand you've not heard of before, but it's one that's coming more to the forefront of the UK market. So I'm going to do 3 presses, turn around, and Robert will just show us what he's got on his stand today. So we're doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we've done it. Right, away you go.
Okay, so first
we're going to be quick.
So very quick version. First of all, we've got our Brooklyn brush, very soft brush, predominantly polyester blend, very soft, great with thinner coatings and really the coatings that like to dry quickly. Yeah. It's also a very handy brush to use in quite a few of the new modern hybrid trim paints that you get.
Yeah.
You can see it says soft on the packaging. Then we got the Atlantic. It's a very similar brush. So if I open the 2-inch and we can show you next to each other, you can see if you squint they look the same, but you start to see a slightly different shade in the filaments. It's because we've introduced more nylon to give it a bit more spring. So although it does say firm, it's a firmer version of this soft brush. They're almost brother and sister.
And all of them could be used in oil-based paints if you wanted to.
We've even got the cleaning instructions on the packaging for a water-based and oil-based paints.
We're all water-based now, and hybrid's the one that's got the little bit of a oil element in, alkyd glosses and things like that for water-based, but these can all be used in
If you want a brush with a bit more body, a bit firmer, then the Montauk brush is our way to go. It's a much firmer brush. It's got a much higher blend quality of filaments. This is what we call our flagship brush. This is the go-to brush in the States. This is the one that's really driven the brand. But actually, to launch in the UK and have a slightly different, more angle, something that's already out there, we started with the Brooklyn and the Atlantic brushes, but we're already beginning to see a lot of the guys like this brush, and also start to introduce this into their tool range.
That's great. I'm going to say Rob wants to get off. If I'm friends with Rob now, so I can call him Rob. He wants to get off. Everybody else is packing away. I'm going to say I'm going to probably touch base with you when you go to the decorating show in Coventry.
Definitely, that'd be great.
And we'll go a bit more in depth with what brushes you've got, because there is a brush here that's a cut down. I can film it. Cut down version of a brush, and I think when we're in Coventry we will talk about what the makeup of the brush is. You've got handle, you've got stock, you've got the ferrule, you've got the resins, and you've got your length out coming out there. There's more to a brush than just meets the eye, and I'm just quickly mentioning it there, mentioning it here now. But I think when we're in Coventry we'll get Robert just to actually talk you through what makes their brush, I don't want to say special, I don't want to say any better than anybody else's, but handmade brushes are a better brush to have. And I think Robert will agree on that.
Yeah, all day long.
If you can buy a brush that's a handmade brush, it far weighs out the brushes that are mass-produced brushes. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you for talking to me at the end of the day, Robert. I'm going to turn off the camera now.
Excellent.
So thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. As I say, we're at the end of the day. I'm over at the, I like to call it BEDEC. It sounds better, BEDEC. Nobody else calls it BEDEC other than me. But we're over with David. I'm a big user of the BEDEC products. BEDEC, Dave are all big supporters of the channel and help me out as and when I need bits of samples and bits and pieces like that for doing testing. I give an honest opinion. I wasn't too enamoured by the, have you got it out, the ceiling paint? No, I wasn't too enamoured with the ceiling paint if you watched that video there, but it did spray well, spray daylight, yeah. It didn't brush too brilliantly, but it did spray nicely. But I do like the other products, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, spin you around. The All Prime is a really good product. It's stain blocking, rust inhibitor, metal primer, wood primer, interior, exterior, water-based. That, I'm a big fan of the multi-surface MSP. You've seen that on, hopefully, videos coming forward as well as videos in the future. And also, I've been using this last week, the acrylic primer undercoat, tied along with the Aqua Advanced Satin, and I've also used the Aqua Advanced Satin Gloss, which is a really nice, quick drying gloss. The sheen level, we'd probably say about 80%. Yeah, just over. We'd say about 80% on the sheen level, but what's nice about it, use the undercoat, hand in glove with 2 top coats, and you'll be surprised how quick it dries. And I'm just going to zoom in on this one. A very good product that is probably not pushed enough is barn paint. Because it's called barn paint, people think use it on barns. Far from it. We use it on gates, we use it on sheds and things like that. It's one of these products that is probably underrated but needs to be tried out, because it is a fantastic opacity, coverage, whatever you want to call it, paint to use, particularly outside. And it's not just for barns, stables, outbuildings, sheds and fences. It can be used for other things as well. So don't underestimate the quality of that paint. And other than that, I'm just going to spin around to the other products. We haven't got time to talk about them now, but again, we will touch base at the Painting and Decorating Show in Coventry about some of these products. Please give us some feedback if you want to know about these products, but I will try and touch back with BEDEC in November. Right, it's the end of the day and literally everybody's packed up. If I pan round, everybody's gone. But my old friend Bruce Kennedy, who is the rep, my local rep for Zinsser, is just packing his last boxes away. And I can't go without saying thank you very much for the support that Bruce gives me on the channel. If I've got any questions about any products, I always go to him for questions and answers sort of thing. And unfortunately, I can't show you the products that they've got on here today, but I tell you what, you'll be surprised how many products are under the Zinsser brand. Now, you know what I'm like, PeelStop, Gardz, all stuff like that, even All Coat. I know we had a little bit of an issue with All Coat on some UPVC, but in general, All Coat's a really good paint if you want a quick turnaround on stuff like rental properties. And people don't really always think of using All Coat. I don't really say to you, don't do any prep, but I do get people saying, oh, if I use All Coat, I don't need to do any rubbing down. Well, I would say you do your rubbing down, but you can just coat up with the same products, 2 coats, and jobs are good, and away you go. And also the satin, the all-coat exterior satin, is a really nice finish. So this is where we are today. Look, Bruce is in the corner, he's packing away. Say hello, Bruce.
Hi, how you doing?
Is there, and unfortunately I can't show you the other products that are under the Rust-Oleum brand now. You've probably seen some Instagram photos and reels where I've been using the non-slip floor paint that's got the granules in it. That was a recent job that I've done. Very impressed with the grey. That was a really nice product to use. And what else have we got? Have we missed anything out? Yeah, let's not forget bin. We've got Aqua bin. We've got shellac base bin. We've got 123, which I think is a product that needs to be dropped because you've now got 123 plus, and with the Aqua bin, I can't see any need for using 123, but Bruce might correct me if I'm wrong.
They're basically all much of a muchness in that regard, but they all have their own exclusive areas where they can be used. 123 standard, the blue tin, has got a rust inhibitor. It is the only primer that has got a rust inhibitor within it. The 123 plus is an all-rounder in that regard. Can go over creosote, etc. Bin, obviously bin is very selected because obviously can only be used as a spot primer external. Internal can be used on everything. Downside with bin shellac, because of what it is, it's obviously
a bit brittle.
It is very brittle and it does crack. So, and then obviously you did mention the bin Aqua, which is basically a corporate, it's basically all of them involved. There is no limitations to bin Aqua. So yeah, very good product.
That's good. And let's not forget cover stain. That's the oil based. A lot of people get confused about what the thinners are and what the things are used to thin paints down. Cover stain's an oil based product, so use white spirit. Shellac bin, that's methylated spirit, not white spirit, so methylated spirit for that. And when you go to the 123, the 123 plus and the Aqua bin, they're all products that you can wash out your brushes with water. So on that note, I'm going to say thanks for staying back to talk to me, Bruce, and I will catch you at the Painting and Decorating show later on this year.
Superb.
Thank you.